All right. We'll watch a 97-year-old philosopher faces his own death. I hope this isn't really sad. It's going to be really sad. All right, I'm going to fast forward to where he starts talking.
Being 97 has been an interesting experience. I'll say that. It's very difficult for people who have not reached a state of old age, whatever that is. Very difficult for them to understand the psychology of it, what is going on in the person.
I fear aging. Obviously, anyone can die at any moment, and you should. A lot of people can say carpe diem, right? Seize the day, because memento mori. Memento mori in Latin means remember death, and Stoics used to tell each other that every day. You can die at any moment, right? But as you age, you are only nearing death. You will only ever be closer to non-existence than the previous second before. I fear that hopefully I live to an old age, but as I age, I fear that when I hit 60, 70, all that will be on my mind will be death. And I know, I've talked to my grandparents about this. I know they think about death a lot. And my grandma actually told me that it's like probably 4 hours a day she's actively thinking about dying. I hope that if I do think about it, it doesn't stress me out. I hope that I will, at that point, have come to terms with the fact of non-existence, and I think a lot of people do. And I'm curious to see what he says, because he's a philosopher, and he probably had some meaningful thoughts about it. When you're actually in the moment of I'm about to die, what you believe just drastically changes. Of like, okay, now I'm freaking the fuck out about it.
It's a loss of ability that you have had all your life. And there's a tendency to act as if you still had it and then fail or be embarrassed. Or you have to accept it finally that you can't do that anymore. That's the rational thing to do. And it would be very nice if we just all did the rational thing to do, but we don't.
Dude, like turning 97 is terrifying. Like, I know it's like a great thing to like get to that age, but when you're at that age, you know, like how much more time do I have? It's like looking at an hourglass that's about to run out.
I taught philosophy in the University of California about 40 years, I guess.
Wow.
As a young philosopher, I started out going deeply into psychoanalysis. I have published books on self-deception and Chinese philosophy, and I also was working in the theory of ethics and the law, problems of responsibility, in particular in connection with alcoholism and drug addiction. And I also wrote a book about death. And that was about 20 years ago.
Breakfast!
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Looks beautiful. In the book about death, what I said was, in a nutshell, is there's no reason to be afraid or concerned or anything about death, because when you die, there's nothing. You're not going to suffer. You're not going to be unhappy.
You can't experience it. You'll die, and then it's just nothing. And I fear the nothing. I fear the nothing every time I think about death, in all honesty. And I've tried to come to terms with it. I have at moments, but I don't know why I fear the nothing. Because the nothing, if there's nothing, I'm nothing. And if I'm nothing, there's nothing to be worried about. I just know, like I always say, oh, I'd miss living. But like, there's no you to miss anything. There's no you to yearn to be alive because you're dead. But I just enjoy even the shitty parts of life. I think life is very, at least interesting. And at times it can suck. But it's the only experience I believe that I'll ever have. is this life. I don't love every second of it, but looking back, even at the shitty moments, I'm glad I experienced the bad. And I'm grateful I experienced the good, but I just don't want it to end. But it will. And it'll end for everybody, which sucks. But I mean, that's why I got the fucking tattoo. And what's crazy is I think I got this tattoo before I truly understood the meaning of it. And I'm glad I fucking like it still. It says life is only precious because it ends. I have another one of my legs that says Nyalti Sauton, which means know thyself. But I got that tattoo when it was like right when I turned 19, and I was still a fucking narcissistic dickhead then. I mean, I wasn't a complete asshole, but I mean, like, how I perceive myself then versus now is insane. But I never fully resonated with the quote that I have on my chest until not fairly recently, but like 2 years ago. It's crazy to think about. And it makes no sense that we're here. And I don't know if a lot of you guys think about this, but I know that some of you do. And it makes me grateful when I have a friend or two that does as well. Everybody just goes throughout their everyday life. And I don't know what they're thinking, but so many people just live and never think about, like, why the fuck am I here? And how it makes no sense. And we live life in a society. We drive to work. We go to fucking Starbucks. You fucking get coffee. You go to fucking Dunkin'. You hang out with your friends. You play card games. There's why? Like, why? Not even the bad, but also just like, why am I fucking experiencing anything? And I know religions try to answer that question. And I really wish there was one that I could foundationally believe in. But as of right now, I mean, I'm still looking into a lot of religions like Buddhism and fucking Hinduism more, and I need to learn more about them. But none of them can answer that to the extent that I want them to. And a lot of them, their answer I would disagree upon. But it's just, yeah. And what's really annoying is I want a definitive answer, and I don't think there will ever be one. And that sucks. And what really bothers me, and this is getting into the conspiracy theory type shit, I think there's... I'm not somebody that's like a paranoid fucking conspiracy theorist, but I really believe that there are people that are higher ups that know a lot more than we do. Not about religion, but like alien life forms and just things that they have more knowledge than we do that might help me kind of grasp my own meaning in the universe. And I'll never know what they know. And they're gonna die without telling everybody. And that bothers me. Are we alone? I don't know. I sit there and I think, and I always imagine Earth, like in those videos where it zooms out. Like, if we're the only people, if they're only life forms, how sad that is. Like, aliens scare me, and they scare a lot of people because you don't know what they would be like. But knowing that there's other life is comforting. And what's even also comforting about death to me, and it sucks, and it doesn't really fully fix it, but the only thing that I can have in the comfort of death is that everyone will also fucking die. Like, if I was the only person, obviously we don't know when we're gonna die, but everyone here in this stream, me, you, we're all gonna die at some day. That is more comforting to me when I think about it like that. Like, oh shit, like, yeah, I might die earlier than some people. They might die earlier than me, but at one point, I will also be fucking dead. I really think about like 1,000 years from now, like just being forgotten too. Like, do you know who your great-great-grandparents are? Probably not. And I mean, some of you might, like very few. You might have their name on a paper because your parents have kept documents of it. I have family members that have like lineages and they know who the first people that landed in the fucking United States were, right? But it's just a name on a paper. I don't know them. I don't even know what they look like. I could read James whatever his fucking name is. Like, I remember reading that. I had a document and it showed this guy that was my great-great-great-great-great-great, going so many fucking greats back. And he was my ancestor. And he lived here. And because he lived here and because he got who he was with, I exist. And I don't know him. And he is forgotten. Outside of me reading his name, no one knows who the fuck he is. And it just sucks that the same will happen to us not even that far along, right?
I mean, at a certain point, there's nothing. So it's not rational to be afraid of death. I now think that is not a good statement. Because I think it's important to figure out why it is then that people are afraid of death. Why am I concerned about it? My argument was there's no good reason for it. My sense of realism tells me, well, no good reason or not, it is something that haunts me, the idea of dying soon. I often walk around the house and I ask myself, often out loud, what is the point of it all? There must be something I'm missing in this argument. I wish I knew. So here I am, trying to work out where I am. I still find that I am, in many ways, a puzzle to myself.
And then thinking, like, a big thing in this goes back to my view of like how religion started and everything too, outside of like I'm saying, like, base just spiritual beliefs. It's very comforting when somebody you love dies and you believe that there's something after for them, right? You believe that they're still here in some way. But my beliefs, and I don't believe in an afterlife right now, when somebody I know dies, it's so sad because they're gone to me, like entirely gone. There is no part of them that will ever be back. And it's just, I mean, it makes you appreciate the everyday life even more, but it's just, what made me think about it is he was drawing a woman, and then I thought about if he had a wife or not. And it's just, I don't know. I hope if I marry Brooke, which I really fucking believe I will, I hope I die before she does. Because I would never want to deal with the pain of having a loved one pass, because and that's selfish of me to say, right? And I'm like, I know I'm saying like, oh, I hope she outlives me, but I'm saying that in a selfish manner, in the sense of like, I wouldn't want to deal with like, hey, I've lived 50 years with this person that you like. I look at my grandparents, you look at your grandparents, right? They might have been together 40, 50 years, 60 years, some of them. And then that person dies and you just have you're alone. And you have the ultimate realization of like, damn, like, I'm not only an I next, but like the remaining days, it's just, wow, like that was weird.
There isn't any good answer. It's a kind of ironic question. I think the answer may be, the silent answer may be, there is no point. It's a foolish question.
I feel like he's having a nihilistic perspective right now. Like, he used to believe that it was nothing to worry about, and now I feel like he's worrying about it, but there's also just like, why am I even questioning it? Why do you think we die? Because when multi-organisms began, cells had the option of being immortal and like just asexually reproducing, or having sexual reproduction and then dying. It's our way of continuing our life. You spread your genes by having a child, and then you die, and they're a form of you. Everyone before you that is now dead is a part of you. Now, they're not conscious. You're your own consciousness, but the genetics of the man or woman that is your great-great-great blah, 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 grandmother or grandfather from the year 1000 is still a part of you. They, in part, kept a fraction of themselves alive by having a kid. I don't want to disappoint my family. There's nothing you're definitively made to do in your life. Like, in the nihilistic views that I have day by day, there's no meaning. And if there's no meaning, there's no definitive thing that you need to get done. Don't let society pressure you. I'm not saying be a degenerate and sit on your ass all day and watch fucking Netflix shows, but you're not made or required to do anything. Biologically, you're just meant to live, reproduce, and die. But philosophically and societally and just consciously as a human, your only thing that you need to do is to live and be you. That's it. You weren't put on this world to be a fucking doctor or a physician. If you want to be a physician or a doctor, that's fucking great. Do it. But like, you're not here programmed. You have to fucking make $1 billion. Like, no.
If I had to say something, I would say that loneliness and absence is absolute part of my life. And that has to do with my wife. We were very close. We were married for probably around 70 years.
Oh my God, this is exactly what I was fucking talking about. And now I literally knew it. That's why I brought it up.
And that is another dimension of this whole situation that I am preoccupied with at times, because she's gone, and she has been for several years, and I feel that a part of me is gone. We worked together.
It really is a part of you dying. Because if you are with somebody that long and you spend every fucking day together, you both consciously change as individuals together, right? The person he married when he was 20 is not the person he is currently married to when he was 80, right? They're not the same individual, right? Two conscious beings, while they're in the same body, two different people, two different observers, right? Like, they're fucking drastically different from one another. The thing that's maintained the same is their connection to one another. And so when that connection to one another stops, they've literally lost a part of them. Like, legitimately lost a part of them.
We were happy together. I know how fortunate I have been to have had a happy life, but half of me is gone. Her absence has been to me for a number of years now, has been a presence, an absence which was present to me. I don't know, call it emptiness. There's something missing. And of course, I realized right away that she is what's missing. And that's a very lonely thing.
Watching an old man cry is the saddest thing ever. I feel like I'm going to start fucking crying. Watching an old man cry is, oh.
I was with her even when she was dying. That was a difficult experience. At least we got to embrace at that time.
He feels this on a insurmountable level comparable to myself. I feel like I'm going to cry right now. Oh my God. But like, just relating this to me and my significant other, Brooke. If something sucky happens, the first person that you go to is your significant other, right? For some of you that don't have one, it may be your mother or your father or something. But for him, his wife died. For 70 years, the first person he'd go to in a time of need is his wife. But she's gone. Like, oh my God. Dude, that is like so fucking sad.
The thing I used to listen to was Leslie.
Motherfucker saying womp womp. Dude, the people that say womp womp, you're not going to remember it. But one day, someone you really love is going to die, right? And you're not going to look back on this. But you're going to forget that you even fucking said womp womp in my stupid fucking Twitch chat, right? But you're 40 years from now, your wife's going to fucking die, right? And you're going to experience what this man's experiencing. And I hope that some dumbass fucking Gen B motherfucker on his whack-ass holographic iPad goes up to you and says, womp womp, get over it, bitch, and walks away. And then it'll be full circle.
Death. It's a frightening thought. It's something I don't want to happen. Much as I think our life in this world is often a pretty messy affair, I still would like to hang around. I don't know the basic reason why I should want to, or the basic reason why I should be afraid of it. What does it mean that I'm going to leave? As I sit out now on my deck of the house, I look at the trees blowing a little in the breeze, and I've seen them innumerable times. But somehow, seeing the trees this time is a transcendent experience. I see how marvelous it is. And I think to myself, I've had these here all.
Another weird thing, and I just want to butt in here. Loneliness is also just fucking so scary. Not scary in the sense like I like being alone sometimes. Everybody likes having their alone time. But I used to be really introverted. I used to be really shy. Blah, blah, blah. Yap, yap, yap. I've gotten more extroverted when I started social media, when I fucking got like halfway through college, when I started dating Brooke, I've become a more extroverted person. I love going out. I love talking to people. I love sharing experiences. And humans biologically are social creatures. As you age, not only could your partner die, but everybody that you shared experience with, your friends, you begin to lose them. And it's a very I hate old people a lot because I think they're narrow-minded and annoying and rude. A lot of them are racist, right? Like a lot of shit. But old people deal with everyone they've ever known and everyone they've ever shared experience with. The people that they live with die. And then, like, they're just alone forever. It's just, like, that's what this man is experiencing. Like, I highly doubt he has friends. He's 97. Everyone he has ever known is dead.
But have I really appreciated them? And the fact is that I have not. It makes the fact of death even more difficult to accept. It just brings tears to my eyes. I've written books on a number of other topics, and in each case I felt that I had solved the problem. But this is not resolvable. It's not just a theoretical question for me, which so many things can be. It's the one thing that is central to my existence that I have tried to come to terms with and have failed. So I just go on existing. That's the truth of it, is existing.
I really believe for myself the only way I could ever feel fine with death is if I have some sort of comfort in nothingness, like Buddhism. And that's why Buddhism is just so fascinating to me, just because the detachment from desire and then nirvana and being able to just remove everything from you is just God. Like getting there is just very hard. But I really do believe that those, like a Buddhist that has reached nirvana is entirely fine with death.
Waiting until I have to say goodbye.
This video was posted years ago. I'm wondering if he actually did die. Herbert Fingaret. This was posted 4 years ago. He would be 101. He died. Wow. Oh, he died in 2018. This video was just posted in 2020. What age did he die? He was born in 1921. 2018 minus 1921. Oh, he died at 97. Holy fuck. So he died not much long after this was filmed. He died of congestive heart failure. He was born in New York, 1921. He had one kid. 1921. Wow. All right. Well, chat, it was a W stream today. I'm actually going to post on YouTube right now. Because I know it's fucking late. But this was a 5-hour.